Hello, my name is Mia Price, and I am doing a project for my class, Gender, Cultures, and Society, that I'm taking at Indiana University. And for our final project, I decided to do a podcast for my presentation, and I am doing it on the topic of social media and how it affects eating disorders. So for my guest speaker today, I have brought on my sister, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Kelsey. I am a 32-year-old mom, and I am Mia's oldest sister. I have a Bachelor of Science in Psychology from IU, Go Hoosiers, and I am so happy to hear that she's taking on some topics that are near and dear to my heart and that obviously I have done a little bit of research myself on. So thanks for having me.
Of course. So, we both went to the same high school here in Bloomington, and we both also went to IU. Well, now going to IU. So, I feel like we kind of had a similar experience, but you definitely didn't have as advanced social media as we have.
Agreed. Yeah. It was similar experiences, different decades, different platforms.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
We have, I use like Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. That's like my top 3.
And I would say, going back a little bit, top 3 is starting from when I first began on social media. I guess you could even consider AOL. Have you heard of AOL?
What is that?
Okay, so this is showing that I am definitely a millennial here. AOL, or IM, Instant Messenger, was a platform that we had where you could leave a goodbye message. So when you weren't there, like your friends would see whatever, song lyrics you put up or whatever. This was around the same age as MySpace. So,
oh yeah.
Yes.
I've heard of that, but what even is MySpace?
MySpace is Instagram and Facebook squished together, except we used to actually have to code our own social media. By coding, I mean if you wanted a pink background, you would have to go in and learn the computer coding to make your background pink. So it was a little old school, but you got to have I know some of you have probably seen this on TikTok where they talk about rating your friends. We had something called the top 8 where you literally, talk about social media influencing how you feel about yourself. Your friends would literally rank you, and it was open for everybody to see. I would say it was the precursor to Facebook. And then I, of course, got Facebook. And now I would say, as a 32-year-old mom, Instagram is probably my most used social media app. Mm-hmm. However, I am on the TikTok as well, of course.
Yeah.
So, different generations, but same concepts.
Yeah. Yeah. So, eating disorders really do affect everybody. I've met like men with eating disorders, obviously, and I feel like me and you both kind of struggled with that. So that's why I kind of chose this topic, because we're both somewhat familiar about it. There's definitely multiple different kinds.
There are different kinds. Yeah, we both experienced different types of eating disorders and gender dysphoria in ways. And it has changed the way that you feel about your confidence. Even like young boys, when they start to grow boobs, that is gender dysphoria. There are ways to fix that. But when you see what a teen man is supposed to look like on social media, they don't have man boobs, or they don't have receding hairlines, things like that. Mm-hmm. So those are the body image issues that even young boys can have. Now, obviously, we're both girls, so we definitely had different issues of our own when it came to social media. However, it took me until I was in college to realize that is something that affects males as well as females. Yeah. Maybe not as common, but definitely happens.
Yeah. I feel like for women, it's more so like size, being more petite, more skinny. For men, it's being like bigger, more like muscular.
100%
So
toned.
you could, yeah. So for like women, I mean, it could go either way, but for women, it's like mostly starving yourself or figuring out a way to eat minimalistic foods, trying to stay healthy. And I mean, for men, they could work themselves into something terrible into their body.
100%. And I also think that it's a common fact that females spend more time on social media. So I would be interested to see how much that correlates as well with consumption of social media.
Yeah, so in one study, higher social media use was directly correlated with having a negative impact on teen girls, specifically. Personal opinions of their appearance, specifically TikTok and Instagram. Do you personally feel like social media played a role in furthering your eating disorder whenever you were in high school?
I definitely feel like in high school, Facebook played a role. But even more so in college, I would say when Instagram really took over, because you start seeing, they start feeding you, literally feeds of people that you don't follow.
Yeah.
With Facebook, you are, accepting your friends, right? So you're limiting the group of what you see. You have to seek out somebody to be their friend, or that person has to seek you out by name to find you and add you, or their pages, and you see that they're a page, they're not a real person, it's a group or an organization.
Yeah, no, the algorithm on TikTok or on Instagram, that was kind of, I feel like one of my biggest problems whenever I was going through something like this was that I would like the feed and it would just keep on bringing me more Thinspos. Thinspo is like
Thin inspiration.
It's thin inspiration.
Jesus.
So that was like a thing where like if you like one picture or one post with like a hashtag Thinspo, then they're just gonna keep feeding you more. And so it was like a whole, like I know that we've probably all gone down like a TikTok hole. Like
Of course.
I feel like
that's very normal.
That definitely was one of the biggest problems.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And as a mom now, that's also a very big reason why I worry about my daughter having a social media, is because you can't necessarily control what's being fed to her on apps like TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah, no.
I definitely worry about social media intake. Reducing social media use in teens significantly improves their body image, according to the American Psychology Association, And that was something that I think when I was getting my degree in psychology, that I was really realizing how much it was affecting me, not only in that moment, but even throughout my past. So protecting my daughter now moving forward is definitely something I am keeping in mind when it comes to consumption and how that's going to affect the way that she views her body. I know that having that social media access is one thing, but it being fed to you is a complete another.
Oh, no, it's scary.
Yeah.
I don't even know how it gets brought up sometimes, because even I'm like a lot better now. I'm healed, and it still comes up on my page sometimes, and I have to, Instagram now actually has a setting where you can, I think Facebook, I don't know how many platforms have it, but you can literally hit uninterested or show less videos like this.
Yes.
So I've definitely used that. Or
yeah, because it almost takes, like, at least for me, I know as I was getting healthy and trying to retrain my brain, it took my algorithm a good year.
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, to stop being fed those things. And it's almost, it's kind of like putting a cookie in front of a kid and saying, don't eat the cookie. It's the same concept,
it is,
right?
Yeah. It's
feeding you this, I called it Fitspo. Because I know mine was a lot of hyperactivity. I was also in the military, so I was being, I'm a shorter girl. If you guys see my sister, she's also a little shorter. I'm shorter than she is. So when I was in the military, you would be taped if you were over a certain weight for your height.
What does that mean?
So that would mean they would take out a measuring tape, and in front of everybody, they would measure around my neck, my bust, and the largest area of my waist and butt in front of everyone. Yes.
Male and female?
Male and female.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And so this was something that, while I'm not necessarily in the thinspo world, I was in this fitspo world and getting fit, and what the ideal thin image is not realistic. I mean, even the military at the time, they were taking our height and weight and basing on if you were out of shape or not. I was in the best shape of my life. I just happened to be 5'1", and I had so much muscle on me that in order to pass the other portions of the physical fitness test, I had to weigh more than the 117 pounds that they expected me to weigh under for my height. So these standards, while even through social media are being shown, it's not just social media. It's mainstream things like the military.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, the military definitely seems... We actually watched a podcast in this class, and it was about how prison inmates were treated and how they have no privacy. Right. And I honestly just can't imagine being in that situation.
100%. I mean... It dehumanizing. That is probably the best way to explain it.
Yeah.
And when you are in a hive mind or a group, so a hive mind meaning a group environment where everybody thinks like you.
Okay.
So when you're going down your thinspo rabbit hole, all these creators are going to be like-minded and probably have similar disorders.
Yeah.
And I think that if that's what you're consuming and that's the people you're surrounding yourself with, then that is the media that's going to be fed to you.
Yeah.
And especially as teens, because currently only 10 states have passed social media access laws for teens and minors. 40 states plus Puerto Rico have pending legislation. This is nowhere near enough. We are not doing enough. Yeah. I am 32 years old. The things that were hurting me on social media happened almost 18 to 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And there is still nothing to protect young girls and boys, as we know, because this is, I mean, it's 1 in 8 people, I believe, in their lifetime will have an eating disorder. And that's about 9% of people in America will have some form of eating disorder throughout their life. And we're still not doing anything judiciously to change that. There are still no laws that are truly protecting our children from the harm that is literally being fed to them on their social media feed.
It's up to us at that point. It's when it brings up the discussion of do we give children phones?
Right.
Can they access it on their own? How with AI coming up, I mean, you don't know what's real and what's fake.
That's a great point. So my wife and I, when it comes to how we raise our daughter, she's 9 years old. And so when it comes to what apps she has access to, we're very lucky that there are parental controls. We use T-Mobile. We've also had AT&T, and through both of those, there were parental controls.
Yeah.
Parental controls meaning we have to approve any apps that are downloaded to her phone.
I had that on my phone too.
Whenever
I was a kid. Yeah.
Mom so not only do we have to approve the apps, we can also see how long she's been on each app.
Screen time.
We can see screen time for every single app. And we ask that her phone is turned off and in our room about an hour before bedtime every night.
Okay.
So while there's no laws protecting our child, it's something that we've now had to take on ourselves, for sure. And as parents, do I think that that's your job? Of course it is. It's always your job to protect these kids. But also as a government and as a country, to see that we continually have this problem year in and year out, how have we not done anything about it judiciously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember having screen time. My phone Mom had it. I don't know how she did it, but Downtime.
Oh, yeah. We can set it off where you
Yeah,
cannot access
she
the internet.
literally, yeah, it would turn my phone off at like 9 p.m., which I hated at the time. But looking back, whenever I didn't have that, I would literally stay up all night. And I wasn't watching videos like that at a super young age, but I know that one of my best friends was, and I knew that she had a bunch of body image issues. I personally didn't really start thinking about it until middle school, which is still super young.
Still very young.
But I mean, one of my friends started like super early age binging, and not binging and purging, that's with bulimia. This is a kind of eating disorder, and that's when you can eat something or eat a lot of something or even a little, and then you force yourself to puke afterwards so that you don't gain any weight.
Yeah, and you knew about somebody doing that by middle school.
Yeah, and didn't realize how much it affects you. It affects your dental health. It affects your bodily fluids. I mean, all that acid, and at such a young age,
it starts to affect your hormones, and it can even affect your ability to bear children in the future.
Yes. I messed up my thyroid.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what you do at a young age can change you for the rest of your life, and we're very blessed that you are healthy now, and that we were able to turn that thyroid around.
Yes. Yeah.
But to think that these young girls are doing, and again, young boys as well, these children, these teens are destroying their bodies at such a young age. That can take years to come back from, if they even get to come back at all.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's like, mom and dad had debated on there's like multiple different ways you can go about it. There's outpatient, there's inpatient, and there's like therapy. There's other ways. I mean, you actually told mom and dad whenever I needed help.
I did. I was the first person. I think that maybe when you look at somebody and you can see yourself in them, and at that point I was already an adult. I think I was a young adult. I might have only been about 24. But I looked at my mom and dad and I said, she's not eating. They said, oh, no, she's eating. I said, no, she's not eating. No, she's eating at school. I said, do you know how many times I lied to you about eating at school?
Because they never really knew about you.
No, they don't know.
Yeah.
They didn't know about me until I had told them further on in therapy, whenever I was having therapy for other trauma, queer issues, and my own divorce and all that good stuff. But of course, all the trauma, including my eating disorder, came out. And it was something that I hid very well from them. And when I confronted them about it and told them they needed to start paying attention, it still took them a whole year before they put you in an outpatient.
Yeah.
And
it did.
It did. It took a whole year for them to truly believe. And I think that's also something that we need to take young girls seriously when they're not going to come to you and say, I need help. They're not going to come to you and say, I think I'm fat, or I don't like my body, or any of those other thoughts. They're not going to tell you, but you'll see it. You'll notice things. And so a lot of times as parents, you're busy. And not only that, like, we were smart, we were healthy in all other ways. We may not have been the happiest, but we were good at faking it. And that's something that, like, your parents never want to think that there's something wrong with their kid. And that's when the government, I think, does need to step in and realize this is a health issue. And there's something that at least this needs to be talked about more. At a minimum, parents need to be more aware. And I think that now with Addie's generation, my daughter, she's 4th grade, and I think that people are much more aware of what kind of social media use and consumption and what that does to body image.
Yeah, I mean, even at a young age, I was looking at girls in bikinis.
Right.
And wanting to be like them. Like, even on vacation, I remember looking at other girls and thinking, so, I mean, it doesn't go away with just social media, but whenever there's unrealistic body standards and unrealistic...
In society as a whole.
Yeah, in society as a whole, we have super unrealistic body standards that everybody feels the need that they need to then harm themselves to accomplish.
Yeah, overcorrect.
That's something we as a society really need to start working at.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on with me.
Of course. I'm glad that we were able to kind of talk and share some things.
I know. We haven't
Always
really
good.
talked about how...
Not since we've been healthy.
Yes.
Not since both of us have been healthy.
We've been
so
healthy for a couple years, so it's
Yeah.
been great. I love food. Food
I know. I'm so proud
gives
of you
you
lately.
so much dopamine, and it is...
Yeah, it's amazing how the depression gets a little better when you start eating too.
It is, yeah.
It is. Vitamins are good.
Yeah.
Food is good. Food is
good.
nourishment.
Food is nourishment. All right. Well, I thank you so much.
Thank you, babe. Love
I
you.
hope to talk
This
to
is
you.
great.
Yeah, great.
Bye.